Hello and welcome. This is Ravina from the Hindu, and today we are here with an esteemed set of panelists who are, all have fantastic careers in merchant navy and some who are doing CSR work. So today we will talk about careers for women in merchant navy. These webinars we do as part of our education vertical, where we meet every Saturday at 5 p.m. and discuss different careers and key issues in education. To begin with, recently the IMO published a survey about women's participation in the maritime sector, and the statistics don't look very good. Only 1% of women, of the total workforce, only 1% account for women seafarers, and 16% who work in the private maritime industry. So the statistics don't look very good, especially when it comes to India. So recently, the government of India has also launched this Sagar Me Samman initiative, where they are trying to boost female participation in the industry. But as we are moving towards these steps to include more female participation, there are a lot of challenges, there are some barriers, and today we are going to discuss that. We will go beyond statistics. We have experts who will tell us about careers and courses, different roles that you can take up. We will also talk about some policy initiatives. We also have Amri ma'am who will talk about the kind of mindset you need to stay in the industry, to work long hours at the sea. I guess now I will throw the floor open to our panelists. I think we can start with opening remarks. We have Ms. Shweta, who works in the CSR division of Synergy Marine Group. Uh, we also have Ms. Harjeet Joshi. She is a former chairperson of SCI. We have Amri ma'am who works as a maritime leadership coach. We also have Ms. Radhika, Captain Radhika, who is the first woman captain from India in Merchant Navy. Shweta ma'am, would you like to begin with your opening remarks?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Ravina. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I am Shweta Rotkar. I started out at sea and sailed for 1.5 years on oil tankers. And after that, I moved ashore and worked across different departments in the shipping industry. Right now, I am in CSR department, that is Corporate Social Responsibility Department in Synergy Marine Group. I manage two scholarship projects for young women who want to join Merchant Navy, the Chakra Scholarship and the BWLPG India Scholarship. A big part of what I do is helping young women, especially women, to find their path in this field. I am excited to share a bit of that journey with you all today. Thank you.
Yes, Amri ma'am, would you like to go next?
Hello, everyone. My name is Amri Saxena, and I work as a maritime leadership consultant with Merce Training Denmark. And I do a leadership program, which is basically training the top four ranks on a vessel. But apart from that, I also work a lot with the cadets. I have, in my 14 years of maritime training, I have also worked with the ratings. I have also worked across all ranks that work on a vessel. So my understanding of this whole industry actually comes comes from the fact that I have also sailed on board on board ships, because my husband was a master mariner, and I got to sail as a supernumerary on board, and I was completely intrigued by the whole environment and the uniqueness of the environment, and that is where I actually got connected to this environment and got connected to the whole idea of training. What I would contribute to this webinar today is my understanding of the mindset that is required, the challenges that the women who are joining the fleet are facing, and on in my own way, I will try to suggest a few things which can help them to overcome these challenges. So, over to you, Ravina.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Radhika ma'am, would you like to give your opening remarks?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Captain Radhika Menon, India's first female merchant navy captain and the first woman to command a boron tanker. I'm also the proud recipient of IMO Award for Exceptional Bravery at Sea. I started my sea career in 1991 and I'm still a sailing master with Synergy Maritime. And apart from being the pioneer of the industry, I am into mentoring women and coming into this field through International Women Seafarers Foundation, which we founded in 2017. I have also contributed to notice number 7 of 2019 for conducive work atmosphere for women on board. I'm involved in addressing issues related to putting two genders together on a socially staffed uh, atmosphere such as shipping. And I go in also my experience goes into preparing gender sensitization material for training purpose, and also a contribution from the International Seafarers Foundation, Women Seafarers Foundation, which is a very unique foundation which is run by female seafarers who are sailing, and as well as the female seafarers who have taken ashore. We have also got our contribution into the seafarers policy of the Sagar Mein Samman project by Government of India. I bring with me a wide range of experience in tackling human relations on board, how to eradicate issues, and how to help the female seafarers stay out of trouble when they are on board, and also to assist them if at all they have an issue to pursue it up with the authorities, and also support them emotionally and financially. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Harjeet Joshi, ma'am, would you like to give your opening remarks?
Good evening, everybody. It's indeed a pleasure to be here and to be able to share our views directly one on one basis with all of you. I'm Harjeet Joshi, the former chairperson and managing director of the Shipping Corporation of India. Incidentally, I happen to be the first functional woman director on the board of Shipping Corporation of India, which is the largest and the only national shipping company of the country. While I was at the helm of affairs, I had the privilege of having a complete woman seafarers on board a tanker vessel which was fully laden with the crude oil, which was Swan Krishna in 2018. And we again did a similar round on Swan Godavari, which was another tanker of 50,000 million metric tons of crude oil. And the objective of this was only to demonstrate the capability and the courage that women seafarers have to bring about capacity building and to bring the complete faith of the industry on women seafarers to be able to go out at sea, and that too on a crude tanker, doing all activities by themselves. Today, I, as the chairperson of Sagar Mein Samman, we are trying to develop policies which will help to attract women seafarers as well as retain and sustain their growth within the industry. The government has done various initiatives, and I'd like to talk about all such initiatives which are primarily meant to increase the number of women seafarers in the Indian maritime industry. Thank you, Ravina.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So, yeah, as you can see, we have a diverse set of panelists, and there are a lot of issues that we will be touching upon. But before we begin, before we get into the how to sustain, etc., let's talk about how to get into the industry. And I think Shweta, ma'am, is the right person for it. So, Shweta, can you tell us about what kind of qualifications does a person need? What are the entrance tests that one needs to take in order to end up in the industry?
Sure, Ravina. Thank you. So, firstly, we'll start with what are the different departments. So, mainly there are four different departments. First is deck department, engine department, ETO, electrical department, and other. The last one is GP rating. So, in deck department, you become a deck officer. So for that, you either need to do DNS, it is Diploma in Nautical Science, it's a 1 year course, or you can do BSc in Nautical Science, it's a 3 year course. Now, to get into engine department, you need to finish BTech in Marine Engineering, it's a 4 year course. Next is electrical department. So to get into electrical department, you need to finish BTech in electrical, electronics, or telecommunication department. After you have finished this, you have to do a 4 month pre training to become an electrical officer. And the fourth is GP rating. GP rating is general purpose rating, and it's a 6 months course. So let's get into the detailed course. So for deck departments, what is deck department? To get into deck department, the ultimate goal is to become a captain. So you start with deck cadet, then third officer, then second officer, then chief officer, and then captain. In engine department, there is engine cadet, then fourth engineer, third engineer, second engineer, and finally you become an chief engineer. Electrical department has two people in it. One is electrical engine cadet, and then the finally you become an electrical officer. And GP rating is a team which assists the deck officers and engine officers. So the qualification for deck and engine department is you need to finish 10th plus 12th, and you need to have selected physics, chemistry, maths in 12th with 60% in PCM and 50% in English. And for ETO, you need to have, as I already told you, you need to either have diploma or degree in electrical engineering. Yes, so that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shweta. So, thank you for telling about the qualifications that one needs. Can you also talk about some scholarships or some financial assistance that women can get for these
Sure.
degrees? Or yeah.
Sure. Yes. In Synergy Marine Group, the place where I work, has two scholarship for women in merchant navy. First is Chakra scholarship. So Chakra scholarship especially is for women from economically weak background. So if you are interested in joining DNS, we'll be fully sponsoring those cadets. And the other is BWLPG scholarship. It is for students who are studying in IMU CET, IMU university. So we sponsor DNS, BTech, or BSc. And also, there is another course from MTM, that is government scholarship, which provides 1 lakh to all the students every year. All girl cadets get 1 lakh scholarship every year. And also, I would like to tell you how to qualify for these courses. So you need to give IMU CET course, that is Indian Maritime University CET entrance exam, to qualify for these courses.
Are there any other scholarships that you would like to talk about?
These are mainly the three scholarships that are there
Uh,
for women in merchant navy.
Okay, okay, okay. Moving on to Amri ma'am. Ma'am, can you tell us, if if someone has joined or someone has made it, and maybe it is their first journey or their first day at the ship, what kind of mindset do they need to go in with? What do they expect?
I think the first and foremost thing that we need to have in our minds, and that is actually true for any industry you join, not only in merchant navy, that you need to have a learning mindset right from the word go, because you're entering a new environment. So that is a given. And then from moving forward, let us also understand, especially for the women who are joining the fleet, that still the industry is still in its nascent stage to embrace you completely, because it is still a new concept to have more and more women on board, and the equality is still not there. So given all these challenges, we need to understand that there will be more challenges, and to accept it and to work around it, rather than be scared of it. Because sometimes when we talk about the challenges, we might portray it as a big bad world. So it's not a big bad world out there. There are challenges, but there are also people who have sustained it through. There are people who have made it happen, and we have some amazing women in this panel itself. Like we have Dr. Radhika, we have Radhika Menon here, who is who has taken up this, who has she has created paved the way for so many more. And for her it must have been a difficult task, but then from after her, things must have eased out because she has shown the way to many. So I think to have that mindset that yes, there are challenges, but I will fight it out. Work on your skills, because skills are very important. You may face lot of biases, you may face lot of judgment, but when your skills supersede that, everything subsides down after a while. Then nothing matters. It's what you deliver at the end of the day, that is what matters. So I think working around that. One more thing I would say, that it is a physically challenging environment as well. So please work on your health, in terms of working out, building on your strength, because apart from having mental strength, you also need physical strength. And both of the things will go together to give you more sustenance in the environment, in this environment. So this is the mindset that you require to get into this industry.
Yeah, I think that about sums it up, that your skills should supersede any challenges that come your way, and you need to be mentally and physically strong. As I have also heard that it is very physically demanding job. So yeah, thank you so much, Amri ma'am. Also, I would like to ask, what kind of barriers or what kind of biases, what kind of do women face in the industry?
Uh, I think few of the common things that I often hear in the room is that, like, the women, they are not doing the physical work because they get, mostly they get the paperwork, or they are absolved from duties where which requires you a lot of physical participation. So I would say that sometimes it is not the women who say no to these jobs. It is sometimes this judgment is coming from the men. They say that if we have women in the team, let me not give this job to her, because I think that she will not be able to do it. So it is not only the women who say no to the job. Sometimes the judgment is coming from the other end, and those jobs are not given to them. But I would say that if there are certain things that are out of my control, and other people judging me, their biases is not under my control. What is in my control is what I bring to the table. What is in my control is how I show up. What is in my control is how I participate, and I come up and I take initiative, and I say that, this is okay, let me try. And if I need support, I will ask my team. So that is one thing to overcome that challenge. Another thing is that sometimes, yes, there are cases of harassment, there are cases of bullying. uh, I would not say that only that is happening, because when we talk about bullying and harassment on board, sometimes it is understood as that there is only bullying and harassment happening to the women folks. It's happening across genders, so anybody can be subject to that. So in that case, please be very mindful of it, and please also be able to speak up when certain things happens, because many a times these things get established because people are not stepping up and speaking out. Every company in all the companies, all the maritime companies which are there in the market, they have interventions to mitigate such problems. They have tools which assist not only men, also the women in the fleet, to voice their concerns. And there are redressal systems where people can speak, where people can voice their concerns, and then it is taken up, and the actions are taken. But the only things, what the gap that remains in between the things being taken up and things happening on board, is the fact that sometimes people don't report such cases. So if something like that happens, please report, speak about it. But other than that, let us not only think about these things and go and join the industry thinking that only these bad things are happening, because there are women seafarers, and I personally know many of them who have had good experiences and who have learned a lot and who have actually gained a lot out of this profession. So it can be very rewarding if you are in the right environment with the right kind of people. So I would say, be cautious, but don't be afraid to step into this. So that's all I can ask my young, the young women who want to join the field.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Very valuable inputs. So yeah, it's definitely one shouldn't be as afraid of it as it may sound intimidating, but we shouldn't feel that afraid to step in. Moving on, I think I have a lot of questions for Radhika, ma'am. But before delving deep into those questions, ma'am, would you share your personal story a little bit on how you started out and how was the scene like in Merchant Navy when you went in? Uh,
I joined Merchant Navy because I was looking for a different career path. I wanted to do something different and not the ones that are not open to the females in those times in 90s. So once I cleared my exams and I got to know that I am the first radio officer to join. That time I was introduced, I was taken in by SCI and I started my journey in SCI. While on board as communication officer, I developed the interest in navigation and ship handling and opted for conversion. And thereon again, I went through various trainings, various exams, served at various levels as second mate, chief mate, then finally took command in 2012. That's when I realized that I was the first female Merchant Navy captain. And that's all about my journey. But uh, having said that, what I should say is when you enter a field which is totally dominated by the opposite gender, you should not be expecting a red carpet welcome. People are people are just you are just put in an atmosphere with people of opposite gender. They do not know how to react to you, neither you know how to react to them. So I've had a lot of issues in my initial stage. That was a stage where there was no policies, or there were no redressal systems and things like that, because I was the first one. But trust me, what I feel is that every woman, as women, we have a inbuilt danger sensing mechanism. And then problem is always two-sided. Lot depends upon, like Amrima was saying, like you are supposed to be, you join a profession or take walk a different path because you wanted to walk it, and you like that field, so you should dedicate your time into learning and upskilling yourself. Because on the ship nobody can do your job. You are the one to do your job. So if you do your job very well, you will be accepted. Now, acceptance does not say that you won't be harassed, and because inside a ship you are with a lot of people from various backgrounds, various mentalities, and things like that. Everybody are not bad. We once one or two people you might be biased, or sometimes for a lady, it's like a roller coaster. So if she has a quiet and good contract in for one time, it doesn't mean that she's going to have the same for the next, because each time we sail with different set of people. So it is up to us to be more careful, more focused, and then work be a strong link of a chain and work together as a team. You can uh, keep yourself out of a lot of troubles, and it doesn't mean also like. From my journey, from my junior days to what I am today, there are a lot of people, that is colleagues who are men who have helped me out of how to resolve issues, stay out of trouble and all that. So it is basically a teamwork, and it's a lot like how you understand a problem. When you see a problem for a woman out at sea are different from that ashore, because out at sea you are left alone with the same group of people for 7 to 8 months at a stretch, and you have nobody to share your troubles with and things like that. But present day, the things have changed a lot, and in 2017, we founded International Women Seafarers Foundation. That is when we realized that we need to have policy guidelines for conducive work atmosphere for women on board. So all the female seafarers put together their ideas and presented it across to DG. And things have improved a lot now. There are anti-harassment policy, and there are you have the hotlines where you can call and speak to a psychologist. You can call IWSF helpline, where we help the girls to identify their problems. Like when a girl is into a totally new atmosphere. Initially, she may not be understanding. Sometimes there may not be any problem at all. So we try to help her out to think whether she has a problem or not. If she has a problem, we help her resolve it emotionally and technically in many ways. We are a group of a lot of women who have sailed on board, and those who have settled ashore. So like that, we have been managing from the times I have started to what it is now. It is far better. And women, I have sailed on ships which are the pilot vessels for the Global Maritime Forum, where I had ratings also sailing with me. As Amri ma'am said, women lack power in the biceps, so they have to actually exercise a little extra and to be able to catch up with physical work also. So, for anybody who is work motivated, who wants to pursue a career out at sea, is always welcome. One truth that I would like to say: if you're work motivated and you're hardworking and you're learning, people are not blind to hard work and competency. So the girls who wants to come into the field should uh, should work hard to achieve the highest skills they can and fit well into the uh, system as a very contributing team member. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So you spoke about how women are supposed to be ready. So another thing that I really wanted to ask you is, since you are also involved in mentoring women through IWSF, what kind of mentorship are they supposed to be given, and what kind of skill set and mentorship do they come on board with, which will help them sustain?
Yeah, when they are lined up to go on board, we tell them what things they should carry on board when they join the voyage, and then we discuss few case studies with them, which gives them a lesson as to how to what are situations they can get into. And after the girl goes on board, she's in touch. We have various groups, student groups, the sailing women group, like that, and we have uh, around 6 to 8 mentors who are senior sailor women. So even if they have a work-related doubt, or if they have an emotional problem, or if they have any other hassles on board, it is we who get to know it first. We help the girl, support her in terms of the knowledge she needs from the group, in terms of identifying her issues and how to maintain balance and stay calm, and uh, look into the eye of the problem without being afraid of the problem itself. We help them resolve it and sustain them on board.
Okay, so going one step forward, can you tell me what does a typical day look like at the sea, and so what is a woman supposed to expect when they are sailing?
Can you repeat the question, please?
What does a typical day look like? What does a typical day look like, and what does everyday work look like? What is one supposed to expect?
Actually, sailing, I cannot describe a typical day. I can say if you are on a long voyage, we are not calling any port, we have calm, beautiful weather, then then it's a beautiful day. Like you can see, and night too, you can see uninterrupted sky and stars and things like that. And then you can see the marine life like dolphins and whales tossing out. It's a spectacular view with multiple rainbows and things like that. On board, everybody has their own job. So if we work in shift, like each shift, and after that we rest for some time. So no 2 days are similar on the ship. Some days it can be very taxing, like we come into the port at odd hours, and after that we are on. The cargo is on, and then and when you touch port, there are various inspections we have to clear, and then it's all very demanding. And when we go out, and then some days are like you have the toughest time when you have extreme when you're facing extreme maritime weather, or sometimes you're transiting high risk area, or sometimes you get chased by pirates. So it's a various things that you see. But I can assure you that no days are similar. But a calm day, we also manage to, amongst the work and rest, we also manage trainings for the crew to face every emergency. And then we have small get-togethers and small parties and all to keep the atmosphere lively. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your inputs. Moving on to Harjeet, ma'am, can we like talk about policy now? Like, what are the policy interventions that have been done on part of the government, or also on part of maybe maritime industries, and where do these policies, in what direction do these policies need to move?
Thank you, Ravina. So, just before I start talking about the government policies, I'll just pick up from where Amri and Radhika left to say that, life at sea is slightly different from doing an office job on shore. And what you mainly face is long hours of isolation because you are out at sea and you cannot come back onto land until and unless your vessel touches another port. And the type of experience that you have basically stems from the fact that you are isolated and restricted to a small group onto the vessel. So you need to have a very resilient mindset to be able to accept that you would be working on a contract, and generally the contract on these vessels are from 6 to 8 months, so which means that 6 to 8 months you are sailing all the time after you finished your initial training, which Shweta informed about. So life at sea is different, and like Radhika said, Captain Radhika informed that you've got defined roles. It's not like a picnic out there at the vessel. Every person on board a vessel has a defined role, and you're supposed to do your own work. So you don't have anybody else to do that work for you, of course, until and unless you fall sick or some other casualty emergency happens, when somebody else would step in and support you. So basically, you need to have an independent mindset. You need to have confidence over yourself. You need to accept that you may be isolated from your own family and from shore for long hours, and resilience is something which has to be a part of your personality. Now, having said this, it's not such a bad experience in the maritime profession for a woman seafarer. The government has been very careful, and Captain Radhika has sailed at the time when there were no well defined policies, and she survived, and she's still sailing, which itself gives a lot of courage and confidence to other women who are joining and who can follow her path. Government has always been wanting to ensure that there is no bias. They are wanting to ensure there is equality and equity in the maritime industry. Ravina, as you brought out, that the numbers in the maritime industry are not very attractive. Currently, globally, seafaring women, it's only about 2%. And in India, it's about 1.2%. So, there is a very conscious effort on the part of the government to ensure that we have more inclusion and diversity even on the vessels in the maritime industry, and we are trying to support this by various initiatives. Sagar Mein Samman is one such initiative of the Directorate General of Shipping. The Sagar Mein Samman was actually launched as part of the Maritime India Vision 2030, and as one of the tasks out of this Maritime India Vision 2030 was to improve and increase the number of participation of women seafarers. And from this genesis, the Sagar Mein Samman Task Force was created by the Directorate of General on 25th of November 2024. Captain Radhika Menon has been part of this task force, and she, with her vast experience, hands on experience of seafaring, has contributed to the draft policy document for women seafarers. And this policy framework is primarily to ensure safety at sea, avoid any barriers, entry barriers, to ensure that there is a safe, harassment free work environment, give all sorts of facilities, including scholarships. Shweta brought out that there are some scholarships. The Directorate General of Shipping gives 1 lakh rupees as scholarship to every woman cadet who is entering the maritime industry as financial support. Other than this, the various companies are sponsoring the balance for the very meritorious women cadets. So there is every handholding and support to ensure that there are no entry level barriers. There is also support to ensure that there are placement at sea on vessels for progression of their career. And along with this, companies are also having a lot of, other than IWSF, every company is also having mentorship programs, buddy programs. They are also at times ensuring that there are two women seafarers out at sea together, which sometimes could be restrictive, but for some women it gives a support if they so desire. And with these initiatives, the government is trying to create a conducive environment for a more diverse and inclusive culture for ready acceptance of women in the maritime industry. And like Captain Radhika very clearly brought out, things were not so hunky dory when she joined, but today the atmosphere is very, very supportive and very, very facilitating. But like Amri brought out, there is no substitute for your own personality and for your own aptitude and for your own skills. So you must have the passion and the desire to sail for long periods, to have a little bit of an adventurous spirit in you, to be able to explore, and you need to have a lot of emotional strength. So not only physical strength to endure at sea, but even emotional strength is what is required. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your remarks. Moving on, I would like to talk to Shweta about transitioning from sea to from shore to sea roles, or maybe transitioning from any role to the other.
Okay, sure. And I would also like to, firstly, I had only focused on the courses which get us into merchant navy. Apart from there, if you want to get into shipping, there are also BBA or BSc in ship management, logistics, supply chain management, that is taken care of by university IMU. So you can also go for that if you don't want to get into merchant navy but you want to get into shipping. After other than this, if you want to transition from merchant navy to shipping industry, there are departments like PMS department, that is plan maintenance department, where I was working earlier. Then there is a purchase department and CSR department, ESG department, where you can work. So after you have gained enough experience on board, there are quite a few options. So like if you are on maternity leave, or you want to take a break for a year or so, you can, there are a lot of scopes ashore also after you have done BTech or BSc or DNS for that matter. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shweta. I would also like to discuss on whether navigation roles are easier than engineering roles. Radhika, ma'am, would you like to take this question?
Actually, I cannot compare between the two because they are different and unique in their own ways. Like engineering roles are for engineers and all are connected to engine room machineries, deck machineries, and the radio part of the bridge equipment and things like that. Navigation comes on the user end of it, use of radio equipments, all the bridge equipments and the deck machineries and things like that. Both of them require if a equal amount of competence and equal amount of stamina and you say interest. So I cannot really honestly differentiate between which is less tough uh, amongst these two.
Okay, but like, in what roles do we see more representation of women? Where are they underrepresentation? Is there such a thing that women are more represented in particular roles?
No, actually, as of now, what I've seen in the merchant navy, uh, we have good representation on the engine side as well as deck side, and it was quite surprising to see engine room ratings also. So nowadays, those females who choose to come out at sea, I have not seen anybody choosing an easy path and thinking like this would be easy for me. So I would stick to it is what they like. It's like there is no difference between how a boy thinks and how a girl thinks when it is a choice of career. The younger generation is more pro to the career. They only think about what they like to do and they choose it. So I don't think there is any less representation because I sailed on vessels where we had equal amount of deck officers and engine lady officers and engine and deck ratings too. So the gates are open and wide, and people who are coming in are more enthusiastic and energetic and more will driven. So I think it's going in a good flow.
Ravina,
Okay. Yeah.
I would like to add to what ma'am said. So it is it is your aptitude. Like if you love machineries and engineering, you should go for engine department. But if you want to see the sea for most of your career, and if you want to do navigation, then it is best to choose deck department. So that is how both are equally tough, both are equally rewarding, but it is mostly mainly dependent upon your aptitude.
Okay, okay, yeah. I guess that makes sense that your aptitude would be the decider. Also, for our viewers, I would like to tell them that if you ask a good question, the three best questions get a free subscription to the Hindu Online. So feel free to ask any questions to our panelists. Also, I would. This question is from my end. We have discussed the government's role. We have discussed some initiatives that the government has taken. What kind of steps can industry, particular shipping industry or a company can take to make the space more inclusive?
So I'll take that question, Ravina. So, like I informed you that at the company level, while I was in the shipping corporation, we actually walked the talk by doing an all women officers sailing. So that was the best type of an example demonstration to the industry that an organization could do by uh, you've given a very expensive asset completely in the hands of the women. That is faith, that is belief, that is trust, and that is what we put into our women seafarers. Similarly, today all other organizations, in fact this point hasn't come out today, the industry is very very receptive, and every institution, organization in the industry is trying to promote gender diversity. They are bringing out several programs. They are sponsoring women cadets, like I said, that apart from the 1 lakh that the Directorate General of Shipping is giving as scholarship, invariably the balance is being sponsored. The entire training cost, the balance is being sponsored by the concerned institutions, and they are having good programs within the organizations to ensure that there is no gender bias. There are harassment policies in the company also, and they are ensuring there are buddy programs. 24 into 7 helplines are there. Support groups are working in individual organizations as well to ensure that the experience for the women seafarers is comfortable.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now that we have discussed, I think, most of the points of this webinar, I would like to tell that Ms. Shweta ma'am and even Radhika ma'am are involved in reaching out to women and telling them, raising awareness about this career. I would like to ask you, what kind of awareness needs to be done? What kind of steps need to be taken to talk to women and get them into this field? Or how do we reach out to them?
As of now, I think we are running the Sagar Mein Samman. There is a huge drive to give more insight into marine careers for women. And then, as Madam Joshi said, there is also the policies and things like that. So people are all aware. So what it was few years back and what it is now, I think, or even on the internet, there are websites which shows career options for sea, and there is a lot of awareness. And I think Madam Joshi would be able to tell you because she's a chairperson. Ma'am, I think it's the phase two that you will be doing the drive regarding this to create awareness. So with that, things will grow multiple folds. So now even in the areas like Himachal and all, there are a lot of girls enrolling into GP rating, and then they are opting for cruise options, and there are a lot of ratings and officers coming out from places, from areas where they have not even seen the sea. So the awareness thing is going in a full swing. So I think once it catches momentum, the response will be tremendous. Thank you.
So just to add to what Radhika informed, Sagar Mein Samman is not only an initiative. Today it's going to become a movement to ensure that we have the right type of policies to pull women seafarers. And for this, Sagar Mein Samman is there out on social media. I would request our audience to please follow us, subscribe to all the Sagar Mein Samman handles on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. We are there. And what Radhika just brought out, we are going to be putting up inspiring stories of women seafarers. And if you subscribe to these channels and view these handles, you will see Captain Radhika Menon also on these channels speaking to you. So you will get direct communication from the women seafarers without any in between blockages, one on one basis. And we are also doing outreach programs as part of Sagar Mein Samman, where we are reaching out to the community. We are going out to schools, colleges, institutions, and hinterland. We are not restricting ourselves to the coastal areas from where generally seafarers come. We are going into hinterland. We are spreading the word about Sagar Mein Samman. We are spreading the word about inclusive policies. We are trying to share experiences and information about joining merchant navy. So these outreach programs, we've started the first one, which we went out to the northeast. We've covered the entire northeast area, and after that we will now be covering the Maharashtra belt for these outreach programs. The objective under Sagar Mein Saman is that the entire India would get covered by these outreach programs, spreading knowledge awareness about merchant navy.
Thank you so much,
I
ma'am.
also
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
can I add a little bit on this? We are talking at a very macro level, organizations and how the government is helping. I would say let us also come down to the micro level, at the social level. When a young girl wants to join the industry, I think as a society we need to also encourage that girl, not shut her down by saying that no, it's a male dominated world. You won't survive there. So that is we that charity should begin from home, and to give them the encouragement, to show them the right kind of role models that are there around us. And I think Sagar Mein Samman is one very good initiative which will take us there. So that is also important. And the fact that the women seafarers, after a time, they have to quit sailing and they have to come back. There is also a lot of feedback that why it is happening. So why not everybody takes up the higher ranks? It is not necessarily because they quit out of choice, but because sometimes there are societal pressures. They have to fit in to certain roles to be able to do that. So I think we have to also work as a society around that area as well, so that these women, they when they are flying, we give them the wind under their wings, and they fly the highest and they reach the level that they deserve to be. So I think that is also where we all should work. And when these young girls are joining, we have to also be that motivation for them. So I think organization level, government level, and also at a very from the beginning, from the where the aspirations they start, at that level also we all need to work. That is where we create young professionals who can fly in the maritime industry. Thank you, Ravina.
Yeah,
I think
thank you.
Amri has made a very, very relevant point, because government policies, institutions, organizations alone cannot do the type of biases and limitations that we feel many times at our own personal level. We limit our own capabilities. Family pressures, social pressures are the ones sometimes which are more restrictive than the environment and the organizational support. So I think Amri has brought out a very, very relevant point, that the support needs to start from the grassroots.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. A very good question has also come, and at the same time, it sort of links to this question. We need support from our family and friends. So we have just received a question from Karuna, who says, "How would seafarers overcome their mental stress and issues being away from their family and friends?" Any of you would like to take this? Yeah.
I would like to take it. See, when you choose to be a seafarer, in present day scenario, you know how the job looks like, in what situations you are, what is the work conditions on board. Most of the things are known to you. So once you come on board, and there is a lot of support from the company and the government as well. And there are a lot of organizations supporting. Apart from that, every company has got helplines for the mental health, the emotional support. And there is for women seafarers, we are there, International Women Seafarers Foundation. So we help you tackle every little issue that you have, or whatever doubt is in your mind. But first and foremost, that what we have been discussing, Madam Joshi, Ma'am Amri has said, you should be strong-willed and you should focus on what you have come. You join sea to become a seafarer. To be a seafarer, you need to be competent. Like I have told you earlier, also nobody can do your job. So when you love doing your job, you are engaged in your job, and it is not all work, work, work out at sea. It is work and leisure and things like that. But when you are with different set of people, maybe we there some problems are anticipated, but for those we have solution now. It's a very welcoming atmosphere for females. So if you feel you have to be a seafarer, I think you can take one of the channels already discussed by Shweta. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Amri, ma'am, would you like to add to it?
Yes, yeah, of course, there are helplines, there are different types of tools which are there present there. But also, I think you need to also work on your mindset that when you are away from your family, so you need to find a family away from your family, which means that your colleagues on board, they become your family. So the first thing is that look for connections around you, because when you are under a stressful situation, sometimes, and not sometimes, in fact, most of the time, seafarers don't call back their families and they discuss their stresses, so they keep it to themselves. So that can actually come in the way of your work. So find those colleagues, find those friends, find those buddies around you where you can have a free flowing communication, where you can share any stresses that you have. Apart from that, also understand that when you are away at sea, the inescapability of the situation, the fact that you will be on board and you will not be able to leave it at the word go, or maybe it may not be an immediate thing. So that is what the biggest challenge there is. So we have to accept that. And if there is something happening back home, until and unless it is really something that you can contribute to, you cannot really put your energy there, because now that you are away, you really can't do much about it. So you should be concerned, but it should not bring down your energy, because you cannot really do much about it. But having said that, of course, for me to say it out aloud is easier than for people to do it. But the whole journey of being a seafarer is actually getting there, where you can compartmentalize that now you are in your workspace, so you work, then you come back, and then you are at home. The best thing about being in merchant navy is you get the amount of vacation which no other profession allows you to. And I think working around that bit, which is more positive, will help you to handle the stresses better. So look at what is there rather than what is not there.
Ravina, I'd like to add to that, of course, while we have these 24 into 7 helplines, today we are conscious that there are a lot of issues relating to mental health, mental stress, but those are not only unique to the maritime industry. Today, you have these issues even for short jobs. So, the only difference is that you are out at sea, and what we've at the leadership noticed that while internet and connectivity is very important, sometimes that itself becomes a bane rather than a boon, because that sometimes adds to the stress of the seafarers out at sea. When they connect with the family, and the family, there is something which is disturbing in the family, and that gets communicated to the seafarer, at least when they are out at sea, they cannot contribute or help in any way, but it does disturb them mentally, and sometimes there are personal issues which they are not able to share. Number two, internet and connectivity, what we've seen is that the social bonding which used to be there on the vessels earlier, at the more historical times, when probably when Captain Radhika joined, there was not so much of connectivity, not free access to internet and Wi-Fi, and that is the time when seafarers used to bond on the vessel, get into social interactions, and that used to help to de-stress. Today, the minute the shift is completed, work is completed, the seafarers go back to their cabin and then they are glued to their mobiles, and all that what they absorb from the internet can also be a cause of stress. So they have to get into activities where they can engage themselves more positively, more productively, and do some physical activities which will help them to de-stress. And towards this, the government has also started Sagar Mein Yog, which is yoga on all vessels, which is going to be a big facilitator to help control stress and connect the body, mind, and soul.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Yeah, I think we've had a lot of a very insightful session. So first we started with Shweta ma'am, who sort of spoke about the courses and the pathways in which the way women can enter the industry. We had Amri ma'am who told us it's not just a big bad world out there. If your skills supersede everything, then there is no way, no one to stop you from reaching heights in this career. Radhika ma'am shared her story, shared her journey. We also had Harjeet Joshi ma'am who spoke about what the government is trying to do, but also again an excellent point made by Amri ma'am that these initiatives need not just be at the government level or at the company level. There needs to be help at the grassroots level from the family, etc. And also Harjeet ma'am again towards the end an excellent point that it is really seen as a plus thing that you have an internet connection, so you're not really cut off from the world, but the negatives that come with it are also a lot to deal with. So yeah, I think overall it was an insightful session. Thank you so much to all the panelists for joining us. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Ravina and the
Thank
Hindu,
you.
for having all of us as a team here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Thank
ma'am.
you. And
Thank you.